can he do a in Tononoka and bring numbers to the floor, to the crowd? I said, I believe he can. He said, can he go to Kondele and hold a rally? Can he go to Ruringu Stadium and there's a crowd and they are going to listen to him till the end? I asked him, what are you saying? Why are you putting down my brother? He said, what I'm saying is this, Andrew. Until a man has tested the waters at that level, I'm telling you, you cannot call him presidential. He's got to go even to hostile grounds.
I really enjoyed that previous episode. For me, it's as I say, I'm a kindergarten student when it comes to the political conversation.
Yes.
But I also am going to be honest and say, I think majority of Kenyans are kindergarten students.
Yes.
For you to play at a different level when it comes to the political conversation, history is important.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will make assumptions on things based on current affairs only.
Yes.
So the reason why I say I think we are all in this kindergarten stage is because you don't understand that decisions being made in 2026, their genesis may have been rooted in 1992.
Yes.
Or in 2002.
Yes.
Or in even 69.
Yeah.
So the man doesn't just become the man at the moment. There's things that have formed the man. Just like you as an individual.
Yes.
Your life journey has been formed by different things.
Yes.
So the Kenyan political landscape has been formed by different things.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that I like this conversation about is because there are words that you said in episode 1, 2, 3 that is only now that they are making sense to me.
They're getting real.
I'm like, one of the things that you have said, the sympathy vote.
The sympathy vote.
The sympathy vote.
Yes.
You've mentioned this thing along the way.
Yes.
But I've not understood it.
Yes.
And I could not have understood the sympathy vote unless I would have understood Ruto's journey in politics.
Yes.
And understood his relationship with the president.
Yes.
And therefore, a word like betrayal, or when I even hear Ruto saying dynasty versus wheelbarrow.
Yes.
When I saw it happening, I was like, what a stupid campaign. Shock on me. It was me who was just uninformed.
In fact.
So, my question becomes,
yes,
I want us to dwell here.
Yes.
And again, people, I'll always tell you, remove the emotion.
Yes.
We are not at 2024 yet.
Yes.
Up until now, we are only at 2020, 2021, 2022.
Yes. That's where we are.
That's where we are in this story.
Yes.
Actually, 2017 to the next general elections.
Yes. Yes.
So at this time, there's no Gen Z protests and all of those things.
Yes.
When I look at Ruto at this stage, that man, I'm in awe. And I use those words intentionally, knowing people will go to the comments and say things.
Yes.
Why do I say that? How does he go for events knowing he has been betrayed and that machinery is working there against him? How is he managing? How did he manage to become president with the tap being closed or his finances being controlled, including something I want you to talk about, the currency being changed? All of these are such political games that are being played that indeed how he won, I want to understand it.
Yes. So we now are at a space where William Samoei Ruto is emerging as a front runner to the 2022 elections. He is emerging as a person who is serious about replacing his boss when his boss goes home. And therefore, you must imagine that all the political roadmaps being drawn are towards that eventuality on his side. In the same breath, all the political calculations being done by Raila's side as to make sure Ruto does not succeed in taking over from Uhuru. So, from a political lens, Ruto is very clear. He knows everything that is coming let it be it BBI, be it what, is essentially going to be crafted to create roadblocks for me. He is very clear. And because he's been at the game at that level from 2002, he can see the signs a mile away. He can see the red flags a mile away. There are some players, even in his camp, who might not be seeing, but he can see. He can see that move is going to come to that move and eventually be this, and it is going to be engineered to stop me.
And he has worked with both of them before.
He
has worked
is
with
biggest supporter of Raila in the run-up to PEV. Biggest support. Some say that his bloc gave Raila the muscle to be at the table for PM. The bloc that William brought, plus the effort. Others will say that the PEV, and more so what we saw in the rift, is as a result of that political bloc that Ruto brought on board of ODM. The reaction and the unfortunate situation we saw on the ground.
Can I add an addition?
Yes.
We're about to have 20 years without a Kikuyu in president.
Yes. Yes.
20 years.
Yes.
So the games that you're also about to play in this time,
yes,
the country doesn't have a Kikuyu to vote for.
Exactly. Exactly. And so there's serious high stakes. It's serious high stakes. So what has happened is now he's preparing to get there. Raila, being the politician he is seeing that time is not on his side, age-wise. He's getting nearer and nearer to his last stab for the presidency. And by some sheer calculation, call it what you want, he is now in the kitchen with the president.
He's the chef.
He's in there. And he has been able somehow to nudge the deputy president aside. So it's getting nearer and nearer. So he's also thinking, this is my first.
Finally.
Yeah, like somebody said, Risasimo.
Risasimoja.
His voters said Raila has been left with one bullet only. So this opens up a very interesting political space for Kenya. Kenyans now are able to see who Raila is because he's getting nearer now and how he plays. But more importantly, guys now are going to see the real William Samoei. Because he's DP and he can see this thing is over the horizon. And so that machine we keep talking about when people say we are siding, now they can see for themselves. And this is history. We're not talking about tomorrow.
Yes.
We're talking about yesterday.
Yes.
So that guys can understand why when I say he has never lost an election, when I say he's a political machine, this now, you can capture it now where we are going. Because what does he do? As you put it very well, he is attending functions knowing there's hostility engineered against him. But he has the courage and the guts to go there. He knows. He knows the battle has not begun. Guys are warming up. They're on the side tracks in tracksuits. The gun has not been rung. The bell has not been rung.
And what are some of the things that the ruling, I don't even want to call it ruling party because he's in the ruling party.
Yes.
What are some of the things that are supposed to happen that are not happening?
Yes.
Disrespecting the seat.
Yes.
Not even the person sitting on the seat.
Yes.
What are some of the things that the deputy president must be accorded, the seat of the deputy president must be accorded that were not being accorded?
So first and foremost, we see the emergence of a prime cabinet secretary, a position that is a creation of the presidency. It's not in the constitution. So in his wisdom, the president decides, I am going to appoint Dr. Fred Matiang'i to be the prime cabinet secretary.
Wow.
In the eyes of political players like myself, he's just created somebody who it appears could be at par with the deputy president, and who now is chairing some meetings that traditionally are chaired by the president.
By the president?
Yeah.
Because his worker is no longer working, he doesn't trust him. So he needs a worker because his personality is not changing.
And in the body language and in the media, we are catching words here, words there that suggest that this man is positioned to be more powerful than the DP.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, we are treated to the first National Day celebrations where they deny the deputy president an opportunity to speak.
Okay. First of all, I need you to insert Matiang'i.
Yes.
Before this, had Matiang'i had this kind of presence?
Well, he was always a very visible leader because as a Minister of Finance, and before that I believe he was in education, he had fared well as a strong and tough decision maker in the dockets he held. He had cut his cloth as a serious minister. And you must remember, this is a man who did not come from the political ranks. He wasn't an MP or a senator who was appointed to cabinet. Because we did have like Charles Keter, who was a senator, then appointed to
Cabinet
by Uhuru, which brought about a by-election that we discussed in a previous.
Yes.
When I was trying to explain to the viewer how William Ruto works well under pressure. To show guys how they were able to secure that seat against a strong candidate from Kano called Sang, who appeared to be running over everybody in that election. But William Samoei Ruto hits the ground in a few days and flips that thing, and it goes back to UDA. That is back in the Uhuru presidency. So,
and just for context, again, we're going to break down the constitution.
Yes.
In case you're listening, and
Yes.
this is the first time you're understanding this.
Yes.
You couldn't be
yes,
a senator
Yes.
and be a cabinet minister.
you had one office only.
One office,
Yes.
new constitution, hence why the by-election is coming.
Precisely.
Okay.
So we're able to see that you could have a leader who's been voted in, who then relinquishes that seat and is appointed. So we are making this point because for people to understand that Dr. Matiang'i does not come from those ranks. He comes from a straight appointment to cabinet.
Oh my God, this is a new type of politician.
He's a new kind. In fact, don't
Because
call him
it's
a
not-
politician.
Oh, yeah,
he's a
yeah.
leader.
Yes, it's in fact, it is a leader.
He's a leader.
This has similarities to the Kibaki time,
Yes.
where it's not the tear gas sniffers
Yes.
or the appointed.
Yes.
It is a manager who comes in to do the work, aka, as you rightfully called it, a leader.
And we saw that in Uhuru term 1. Anne Waiguru did not come from the political ranks. She stepped in to cabinet from a professional front.
Amina Mohammed.
Amina Mohammed, Minister of Finance under Uhuru's term 1, Rotich. These guys were not MPs. And it was refreshing for us political players to see appointments of people on competency. It was very refreshing. We knew you have to get in some political players in there somewhere. But it was very refreshing, particularly in key dockets like devolution, dockets like health, dockets like, which other docket? Interior security, where you had a person who's been brought in who is not from the political class. It was refreshing because the feeling we had was that these people will focus on the job at hand. They will not play the politics. So, we saw appointments based on competencies in Uhuru 1, term 1, and it was very refreshing. And as I was saying, we saw people who ended up later in politics like Anne Waiguru, but initially were ministers based on competence and then decided to go for the political journey, which is not a bad thing because what does it do? You now have a politician who comes from the professional ranks, who can present some quality alongside their politics, their leaders. Which is why earlier in one of our breaks, I said, Fred Matiang'i has shown serious ability. There are those who will disagree with me because of the extrajudicial killings. All said and done, that is a part of his leadership that will always be in question. But on other fronts, like how he managed the transport sector, you know, we saw the yellow buses of his initiative and he put his foot down and he got that done. And I still think a man like that, some of the things we're dealing with, like border, a guy like that in the right docket can really unravel that whole situation.
He brought some Michuki vibe.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how to put it. And so if somebody like this ends up in a political space, I think it is better for Kenya. It is adding and not reducing. Because what we're doing is we're taking somebody who's proved they can work and put him into politics. Whether or not he is presidential material, I beg to differ. I think this country we are in, you really have to have played at that level to pull it off. The presidential journey is no joke. And for you to play at that level, you need to have pulled it off. You need to have played previously at that level and understood the dynamics.
Are you saying that you don't believe somebody can come from zero to hero? You believe, for example, you've got to have some skin in the game, have it be win or lose. Play MP, rise up, do this, come up, try presidential, lose.
Yeah.
Are you saying that nobody can just come from nothing to something?
I think in the current dispensation, the current political class we have, I don't think they can. I do believe, going by what I'm seeing, the growth of the IT and the fact, like you were saying earlier, the mobile phone is not a phone.
It's a device.
It's a device. Going by that growth and the fact that very soon over the horizon, people will vote from the comfort of their homes, that is an eventuality that we can definitely look at. But if in 2026, a person who claims to command 4 or 5 million votes stands up and without batting an eyelid says the mountain that I command, how then do you come from zero to become president? You can't, because we are still fragmented.
What about the many who would say that his time with Uhuru isn't zero? You're negating it.
Who's this now?
Matiang'i, for example.
What I would say
His
then,
time in government is time.
this is what I would say.
It's just a different route.
This is what I would say. He is going to need to do a nationwide political activity, and then we can have this conversation.
Okay.
He's going to need to go around the country. Somebody said something very interesting. In 2006, I was in a grouping for Kalonzo in 2006. And we had a meeting in his home to fundraise money to refurbish the home, the house that was going to be used as his command center. This house had been donated by the late Mutula Senior. He donated an office on Gong Road. He said, this can be the command center. But you guys, it needs renovations. It was a residential house that had been converted. So this meeting was to come up with a fund to manage that. So we were invited as friends, and the person who invited me called me and told me, Andrew, minimal contribution, 100,000. And I said, hey, that's my elder brother. Even if I don't have it, I'll have it. And so I went with the business part of mine, and we had our check for 100,000 and many others. And we raised about 5 million shillings that day. Now, the conversations around Kalonzo, the presidential candidate, started in earnest amongst us as friends, political players who were at the home that day, who we would then meet later. And in a conversation we held months after that fundraiser, somebody who was then flirting with Kibaki raised a very pertinent question. We used to frequent the Grand Regency and we'd have political conversations, very robust ones. So we're sitting and the guy says, so Andrew, this man you're supporting called Kalonzo, can he do a rally in Tononoka and bring numbers to the floor, to the crowd? I said, I believe he can. He said, can he go to Kondele and hold a rally? Can he go to Ruringu Stadium and there's a crowd and they're going to listen to him till the end? I asked him, what are you saying? Why are you putting down my brother? He said, what I'm saying is this, Andrew. Until a man has tested the waters at that level, I'm telling you, you cannot call him presidential. He's got to go even to hostile grounds. Then he told me, haven't you seen that Raila would go even to Murang'a and he knows it's not going to be a successful one. Haven't you seen Moi would go? I told him, yeah, let's not talk about Moi because he was incumbent. There is a favor the incumbent enjoys, which you cannot compare to an aspirant. He said, okay. I said, until then, and I never forgot. So every time we are in the political cycle and a person emerges as a potential presidential candidate, those are the questions I ask. In the grouping I was in 2010, guys were pushing me and saying, I remember telling a friend of mine, boss, do you know what this thing means? We have to call a rally in Tononoka and guys know who we are.
Yes.
And they have the curiosity to come and listen to us. Until we are there, I told him in my campaign in 2002, I was advised by my friend in intelligence, and I will always treasure that advice. In one of our final sessions before we hit the ground in earnest, he told me, I want you to work backwards. I told him, what are you meaning? He said, Andrew, work backwards. How many polling centers do you have? So many. Do you have somebody who lives within walking distance of that polling center? Who is your person on speed dial? I said, well, he said, that's where it starts. He told me you must have a guy who's your soldier. Because, Andrew, you need two people who can be your polling agents in every single polling center on the ground. So he told me...
You need 10,600 villagers.
Yes.
Remember our conversation that we started with?
Yes. Now, let's even now go into the presidential journey. I believe, and unless I'm wrong, it is over 40,000 polling centers. So if you have two agents, because one has to relieve the other, you're talking about 80,000 plus polling agents. This is what a presidential journey means. You have resource coordination on the ground for these people by political players who might even be swimming against the tide, but they are your guys. They are Andrew Ndolo in Kandara. They know my guy has no vote here, but I'm with him anyway.
Yes.
And I'm going to go to the largest polling center in that constituency and be an agent, knowing my guy won't win the vote there, but I'm his guy anyway. That's what it means. The national stage. That's the game you're playing.
Steroids.
It is another animal.
And to talk about the wives, let me say this. Kenya is big.
Huge.
Kenya has 42 different children. Or is it 47?
Yes.
You can drive to places and it will shock you that in that place, there is 200,000 people who are registered to vote. And you didn't even know that place in Kenya existed. I remember when we were driving with Aizo to Sarova Shaba
Yes.
and going through Isiolo.
Yes.
I'm like, who on earth are all these people?
Yes. Living their own lives, doing their own thing, with their own leaders. Now, what you saw, it means there's a guy there who is supporting Andrew Ndolo for president in Isiolo.
And doing the groundwork for you.
There's a guy in Masabet who says, Mimi huyo ndio bwana wangu. That's my candidate. There's a guy in Hola. There's a guy in Lamu. There's a guy in Malindi. There's a guy in Homa Bay. There's a guy in Kapenguria. That's what... And I'm not discouraging or trivializing anybody. The reason people say you need to avoid once is you then will understand that animal that one time. How many times has Raila done it with the muscle he had at the level he was playing, and he had a problem beating a sitting president? In this election, guys, against a sitting president who has been in the game from 2002. So by the time he was on the ballot, he had done trials and rehearsals up to 2022.
Including being wise enough, and this is now when I talk about his brilliance,
Yes.
to lose
Yes.
for a victory later.
In a national campaign.
In a national campaign. But he knew the aim for doing this national campaign in the
Yes.
referendum,
Yes.
siding with the no,
Yes.
was for the sake
Yes.
of the groundwork.
Yes.
Let me say something with Matiang'i.
Yes.
We listened from a viewer's perspective, from a voter's perspective.
Yes.
We listened to
Yes.
Matiang'i because we had to.
Yes.
Because he was a minister.
Of course.
We had to.
It comes to the territory.
Now I don't have to.
Yes.
He wants me to listen to me if I'm talking about if he gets onto the ballot.
Yes.
Very different disposition.
And that is why, if our viewer are realistic, devoid of emotion, they will understand that given the current landscape we are looking at today, and by that I'm talking about the political landscape today, I can very easily tick off to you the guys who can play at that level in the coming election. And in my humble opinion, there are only two people who can play at that level in the coming election. One is Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, and two is the incumbent president.
No way.
Everybody else is trying to learn the game.
Okay.
I understand the excitement that surrounds Sifuna. And I'm not diminishing it. And I keep saying he represents the future. And I would love to see him stay on it because he represents what could be. But let me tell you in my own complete humble, and I could be wrong, I'm not the custodian of information, for that guy to put up a national animal that can do what needs to be done against an incumbent who has played at the game for decades, who has a war chest forever, and who the Constitution favors. We've not deeply interrogated political funding and campaign funding. And therefore, you cannot put a cap to what William Ruto can or cannot spend. So, having said that, for you to put up an actual battle against this man, and remember why I'm saying Stephen Kalonzo and Ruto, is because if you have more than one opposition candidate, can they forget the party? If 2, 3, if Kalonzo is on the ballot, and Sifuna is on the ballot, and Matiang'i is on the ballot, and the Ruto, three combined against the incumbent, they won't even get to half the vote he will get.
That is the Moi strategy. Remember, again, if you're watching us from here, start from the beginning.
Just go back. And you know why I'm saying this? Why are we doing this show? We are doing this show because, for me, it would be unfortunate if I pointed fingers after we have a PV-style eruption. You know, an eruption like PV, and I'm there saying, you know, this so-and-so. What did I do? That's why I'm here. Remove the emotion. Remember what we kept saying right from the beginning. What is the architecture of Kenya? The architecture of Kenya is bad. The big man is a president. The wealthy man is a president. You are not going to undo that in one day, but you will undo it. And that's why I say Sifuna represents the future. He brings hope. I would be happy to see him go to the ballot because that would be lesson number 1 for him. I would love it. Even if it means he defies the others, because he has got to start somewhere. I would love to see that. Why do I say this? After William Samoei Ruto, assuming he wins the second term, goes home,
there's a vacuum.
It's going to be a gap. And a guy like Edwin comes in and takes it and bolts with it. He has got age on his time. He has so much on his side. And the voter who will be voting in this election, next election, he will own them all because he comes from a generation that inspires them. If he can get to the ballot, I think it would be a good thing.
Man.
I do not see my elder brother stepping down for him. It doesn't make political sense. He's nearing the end of his presidential journey because of his age. He is 9 years my senior, my elder brother. I am going to be 62 this December. So in the next election next year, I will be 63. That makes my elder brother 71. 72, 71. In the next election, he will be mid-70s. He is not too old to vie. But the way the growth of the internet and all that is going, it's likely he'll be out of touch. Because this generation, as we saw in 2024, have their own thinking. They're in a different space. And these guys relate with a Sifuna-style politician.
But Sifuna needs to play it. Let
He
me also
has
just
to
say,
go to the wire.
my one thing is saying, where resources are hindering,
Yes.
where you have to do what, and we're going back to this because this is a Ruto conversation we're having.
Yes.
We're trying to figure out how he then managed to win this thing.
Exactly.
And what we're started with
Yes.
is the hindrances that automatically hit him.
The roadblocks.
So even this group of people who are there right now,
Yes.
the opposition and Sifuna being at the helm of this,
Yes.
their hindrances already hitting them.
Yes.
So the play has to be different.
It has to be completely different.
And the play is that phone you keep holding over there.
Yes.
And until me personally, I want to see them step up.
Yes.
Because as I said, we've been doing this for less than 3 weeks.
Yes.
And I was showing you statistics of close to 5 million.
Yes.
They have to play this.
Exactly.
And they can't play it like Citizen TV.
No, they can't.
So back to where we went with this story.
So the roadblocks are in place.
So you are talking about Matiang'i does what as a roadblock towards Ruto?
You could see in his body language that he is not as respectful as he should be. You just need to go to YouTube and pull out clips from back then. And you can't blame him. The president has pulled him and told him, manage this thing
Clamp
for me.
this guy down.
And maybe in some corners he's being told, this guy, we can't support this guy. Let's give it to Raila for now. So, because he doesn't come from the political ranks, he's an appointed cabinet minister. He's got to follow the boss. You see, when you come from the political ranks, you come with collateral. So you come, you can say, no, I won't do this. Because you've come with your own muscle. That's why when we talk about the presidency of Uhuru Ruto and entry and exit of people like Charity, she could go with war because she came to the table with a vote. So she'll say, no, these guys, and she walk away. But when you're cabinet, who doesn't come from political ranks, when you go, you go, you're done, you go, you're out. Yeah.
I mean, Mohammed.
Yeah. You're gone, you're done.
Yeah.
But because you come, you've entered and you've made some headway, there must be a seed that's been planted. And you're thinking, I've worked at the top of government. I have been a man who is feeding the president, and we've gotten some work done. And I've gotten some good work done.
I'm the one who made the decision that led to this positive change in the nation.
Exactly. And you can track it. And you're thinking, in this year, these are what we achieved. Hey, there's more good than bad. And I am directly involved in those decisions that took us there. So you must be thinking, as a politician, I can do pretty well. Because I've done this at government level.
Yeah.
And let us put credit where it is. When you have a person who comes from where Fred Matiang'i comes from, he makes a really good politician. If you ask me. Because that guy comes with the working of government into politics. So that's a man who can drop the campaigns after they end and get to work. Because the other guys who are purely politicians do not know anything else.
Yep.
They're irrelevant if they're not playing politics.
They play politics after politics ends.
Exactly. But a guy like Dr. Fred Matiang'i will drop that political thing and he will enter work, and going by his track record, he will do a good job. That's a guy.
I like that.
His
default is management. His default is not politics. His default is work.
So it's a guy like that sitting as governor, for example. It's amazing what he can pull off. You'll be shocked. He will do stuff that you will say, wow. Because of where he comes from, because of his thinking and work ethic. It comes from government structure. And in government, you have to perform, not always getting the credit, but you have to perform because you're not a politician. So it would be refreshing. Whether or not he can play at the national stage as is required in a contested election, in a high-stakes game like the one we are going to, where William Samoei Ruto has to get his second term because he'll go down in history as a guy who got only one term. It's high stakes. And your high stakes against a guy who you know has been responsible for 2 terms for his predecessor.
And let me say also, William Samoei, as much as he's your junior, the 5 years that he has been in presidency this year have taken a toll on him.
Yes, they have.
He looks like he's aged 15 years in the last 5 years.
That is so true.
And I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just trying to say I have no idea the pressure that comes on sitting on that seat.
The body of work. Somebody challenged our work ethic narrative. So let's call it the body of work so that we are respecting the opinions of our viewers.
I agree.
The body of work that William brings to any task is abnormal. It comes from what we said in a previous episode. He's had to scratch for everything. And by nature, you can tell he's an extremely driven individual. And when he sets his eye on a goal, he has to accomplish. So we are looking at a man who, we are not praising him. What we are saying is there for you to see.
Yeah.
Just go back and see what he has achieved in the last several decades.
Yeah, just like, and even if you don't think he's achieved anything,
Yes.
just go back and look at how many events he has attended this week.
Exactly.
That's all you have to do.
The body of work he brings. And I keep saying this, he is the incumbent. He comes to the campaign with that body of work. You are challenging him. You do not have access to the resources he has. Make no mistake, it is an uphill task. You need to come at this with the similar attitude to his.
So perfect. So, number one, we're first talking about the roadblocks.
Yes.
The disruption that he is facing as DP who's about to vie for presidency in 2022.
Yes.
Number one, you're talking about this new seat that has been created and Matiang'i sits there.
Yes.
And Matiang'i is being given similar power to him as DP.
Yes.
To the point where Matiang'i is okay to sort of talk down and look down on him.
We even saw a spat in the media, and there was a story in the front page of a mass circulation newspaper where the PS for Interior, the man working under Fred Matiang'i, the PS was responding to the deputy president. So that's the level of roadblocks we're talking about.
That's the level of, hey.
And the deputy president under our constitution is a doorstep. God forbid something happens to a sitting president. He ascends.
For 90 days, it's him.
He ascends. No. He ascends for the remainder of the term.
Oh, for the remainder of the term?
Yes.
We don't, gone are the days where we, after 90 days elections. Yes, that was Moi's days.
These ones are pairs, like a governor. If you are voted in today,
so right now,
president, and you drop dead by some unfortunate situation, and your deputy, and you were sworn in yesterday,
yes,
he takes oath of office and governs for the term.
So what you're saying, had Raila won, right now our president would have been Martha Karua.
You don't remember what guys were saying?
It would have been Martha. By the way, I've interviewed Martha Karua, a very interesting conversation. Go and watch it.
In the buzz, people were saying, those who are pushing Raila with a Martha deputy must have known something.
Allah.
Because the health of a leader at that level is even as secret as it is. When you're sitting at the levels Uhuru, Ruto, and others sit, you do know. You know, hey, this Andrew Ndola guy, he's got this problem with his heart, or he's got this problem with the liver, or he's got this cancer. They know those things. So there are those who, there was a buzz that the choice of Martha was not accidental. There was a larger roadmap that had been drawn.
Guy, what chess are guys playing? What chess are people playing?
So when people, I remember one guy who approached me with that, and I told him, that's just fiction. He asked me, I told him, no. He said, I told him that's fiction. He said, no, that's a plan. You know, this guy will not finish a term. She will be there. She will be president. I said, that's fiction. He asked me, I told him, that's fiction, bro. Trust me. So now when Raila got sick and passed, I sat back and I thought, what was that guy telling me? Kwani, what did he know? And he's not an intelligent guy. He's just a businessman. We're on the golf course playing. And he's telling me, you don't know the plan. I'm thinking, what is this guy talking about? So now Raila drops, unfortunately, in India. And I'm thinking, Kwani, is that guy, did he know something I didn't know? Or is just our nature? Because our nature as Kenya is we're political schemers and plotters. We are experts in everything. But what does it mean? It means that when you are deputy president, you are the next in line.
Wow.
And so here we are where William is being hit left, right, and center.
Financially, okay, first and foremost, from a authoritative perspective,
Yes.
he's been reduced.
Yeah, there's no doubt about
there's
it.
There's president, there's Raila, there's Matiang'i, there's even almost, as I'm hearing, the PS.
I mean, the PS responds to the deputy president on a national newspaper. Something that didn't need to get into the media play at all. So, one of the things that I find very interesting, and as you know, because I'm a politician, I listen, I watch. So National Day celebrations are now going national. They're being pulled out.
Yeah.
An excellent
They're
move.
counting. I loved it as well.
Excellent move. I think it's genius. Whoever brought that, presented it to Uhuru, genius, we need to salute that person. Because all of a sudden you're telling the country, we are coming to you.
You're telling the wives.
You're telling the wives.
I'm visiting
I'm
you.
coming for lunch. And I'm coming with my clan and my other brothers and sisters and who. So, this visit I'm coming, Ebu prepare for us now, slaughter some cows. If it's northeastern, slaughter a few camels. I'm coming with my friends. Perfect idea. Genius. So, I will never forget this one. Because it's in now when we are seeing roadblocks being placed in the way of William Samoei Ruto. So National Day celebrations in Kirinyaga. And the host governor is one Anne Waiguru. And so we see a lot of yellow buses mobilizing crowds. So from where I sit as a politician, if you're holding an event in Sultan Ahmad or in Salama, and there's a heavy presence of transport, it means you've bussed people in. They didn't walk there.
Yeah.
You've bussed people in. Okay? What does it mean? It means the planners or the organizers of that event are making sure that the crowd in attendance is a friendly crowd. That's why you bus people in politically.
Yep.
When you bus them in, you want a crowd that might even be scripted. Maybe they've been told, boo this guy, cheer this guy, those kind of things.
Hey, cheers, my friend.
And you want the seats to be full.
Oh, yes.
You do not want the cameras to catch empty seats. The place is full. A reflection of the popularity of the host of the event or the chief guest of the event. In this case, a National Day celebration. A chief guest is His Excellency, the President.
It's an optical way of letting the viewers know, because you're campaigning, that
when
you have support.
So when you have a National Day celebration in Kirinyaga, in a stadium, and the seats are packed to the brim, the message is these people are supportive of their government, of their president, and they've come to listen to their president. So that's message number one. Message number two is they are not likely to cheer the wrong person or boo the wrong person. That's why they've been bussed in.
Yes.
There was a budget to bus them in because buses are not donated. And if they are school buses, then it's a very structured mobilization. Somebody somewhere was told we need 50 buses. And the easiest way to get buses for those events is through structured organizations. Schools are easier to access. So somebody somewhere was told we need buses. We need 10,000 or whatever the capacity of the stadium is. So somebody's got a calculator. This bus capacity is 68 passengers, so to fill that stadium we need 14 buses or we need 30 buses or whatever. It's calculated. Where will these people come from? This bus is in the primary school in Kagio. From Kagio get full bus 2, 3 political players. Hii ingine inatoka Kutus. From Kutus get... Somebody has got a map because that's how state works. When we talk about the machine...
The machinery.
That's why, and I will go back to why I'm saying you're not dealing with an ordinary guy, because that machine was against him since Uhuru had another candidate. And as an example is this event I'm talking about. So somebody has done that whole calculation and they've said this is a budget we need, and that budget has been availed by the state and mobilized, and people have been bussed in, and the stadium somewhere in Kirinyaga is packed to the brim. So, guests are driving in, and the state MC is saying, and in arrival, da 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 da, and the people cheer. You get out of your car, you stand up, you unapanda jukwaa, as they say, presidential dais, you take your seat.
Yeah.
And guest after guest after guest after guest after guest. And now, the deputy president drives in.
I'm scared.
And the state MC, and what I'm saying, viewer can go to YouTube and search. We are not sugarcoating anything. So the deputy president arrives, and the announcement is made, and all of a sudden, there's a bigger roar. This crowd is receptive than the previous guests who were coming in. This guy is received very well. And for those of us watching who know there's trouble in paradise, we're waiting to see. Since we know people were burst in, we are assuming there's a script. I am a political player, I understand these things. So there's a cheer, there's a roar in the crowd. And he's received well with his wife, and he walks in and he takes his seat.
So this script doesn't look like it's going according to plan.
So I'm wondering, was there a script or maybe there was none?
Okay.
So, and of course the governor is the one who's introduced him. And she does a very good job. I mean, you must hand it to Anne Waiguru. She introduces him with respectfully, captures his office and everything. And he sits. And when later now she invites him to speak, again, the reception of the man, you can tell this is a crowd that is receptive of this man.
When she invites him to come to speak, are our other people in the audience?
You see what happens
I mean, our president and his new bromance.
You know, the thing about National Day celebration, the protocol demands that it can only start when the chief guest,
arrives.
His Excellency, arrives. And in recent years, we've seen another addition, very good addition to this, where they invite a special guest. So you find the president of Ethiopia is a guest at this function. So he becomes a chief guest. So all those people have to be seated. And the event then is called to order. Depending on the event, the president might do a drive around and, salute, a parade and all that before you get to the speakers. So the reaction again. And for a few of us in the political play, it's a buzz, it's a conversation. We say, hey, did you see that? What was that all about? So a friend of mine is saying, what? There must have been a plan to boo this guy and it backfired. I asked him why. He said, why would you bus guys in? Why would you bring guys to fill a stadium? You don't need to. It's a rural area. Just go around with a megaphone, because that's what we used to do back in the 80s and 90s. Is there'd be a vehicle going around telling guys, come to the stadium, come to the stadium, come, and then all that activity, people come. It's entertainment. But this one, guys there's a budget. And to achieve that crowd, those numbers, requires money. So there is money behind this initiative.
The machinery is at work.
Machinery is at work. And we see this man received very well. So I'd always thought he was strong. But that particular National Day celebration, it gets me thinking. Because we thought, remember, my generation comes from the big man syndrome. We have that hangover. So we're thinking Uhuru is going to point Central Province in a direction, and they won't vote for Ruto. But in my mind, I'm thinking, and I'm not saying it aloud, but I'm thinking, hey, the William Samoei Ruto I know, this guy is going to fight to the bitter end. And this guy is a fighter. Anyway, let's see how it goes. So this one, I'm like, this guy is popular. And then from there, we just keep seeing him going from strength to strength.
And let me add at this point,
Yes.
We've talked about I'm trying to show the stripping that is happening to him to make this the most difficult race of his life.
Yes.
Contention of his life.
Yes.
Because that's what this is.
That's what
he needs the victory. He wants the victory, but everything is against him in getting this victory. And when we say state machinery has kicked into play, number one, it's terms of they have reduced his authority.
Yes.
So Matiang'i is above him, the PS is above him, Raila is above him, and the president is above him. He's no longer number 2.
Yes.
He's like now number 5.
They're treating him that way.
They're treating him that way.
Yes.
Number 2, from an economic standpoint, the resources that he had financially are reduced.
Or so they thought.
And that is the geniusness of him. So
Yes.
when you say, or so they thought.
Yes.
Okay, explain that.
So, we see other activities. For example, we see a changing of the currency.
Guy.
The buzzword, remember I told you politicians were know-it-alls. We always have our ear to the ground. The buzz out there is that it's targeted at business interests that could be aligned with him. People who keep cash. Of course, if you're going to have a technical conversation, it's a bigger journey. It's not targeting him. It's supposed to be something that the Kenya Revenue Authority has initiated so that you are able to widen the tax basket. So you're taxing more people. So you discourage the money that is in suitcases and in containers, because that was what was happening. People would keep cash, raw cash. And more importantly, political class requires access to cash to fuel their activities.
But it's timing. The timing of this was...
The timing, people are saying, this is William who's being targeted.
Yeah.
And they must know some of his people who have this money sitting in liquid form in large amounts.
And me, I think you even... You know, you're nice. Me, I'll be the layman who says what people on the ground are thinking.
Yes.
The rumor,
Yes.
a story was told
Yeah.
that this man has cash in his house,
Yes.
bundles,
Yes.
buildings on buildings like Escobar.
Yes.
That's what the rumor was.
Yes.
That William Ruto has cash everywhere.
Yes. Well, you know, what I do know is that from the times of Kanu, politicians would have to keep cash. So that when a political activity is coming up, you've got access to cash. You are not going to have to go to the bank to draw money. So that culture of keeping cash was fueled heavily particularly towards the tail end of President Moi's presidency. Because we had become that society where when the political activity begins, people want money. And so you must have money. So that culture then set in. So you'd find the political class has cash.
And also, is that where Goldenberg sort of comes into play?
Yeah, Goldenberg came in sometime during Moi's presidency.
Okay.
And what it did was, of course, it was a big dent on our economy. And what happened around that time was that people were able to make money from deals. And as a political player, you didn't want that money captured anywhere. So the habit of cash started. It became a big thing in the 90s and onwards. It became a big thing because you don't want people to be able to trace. And then what would happen is, then the political players who were dabbling in some level of business, particularly maybe with government, through proxies, then it became even more important to keep cash. Because if I'm in partnership with you and I've made it possible for you to get a big highway job, and my piece of the business, whether it's 10, 20, 50%, whatever it is several million, I cannot justify banking those millions.
I get it.
You see, anybody tracing will see it.
Okay.
So you bring it to me in cash. So I have to start getting creative. Where do I keep this cash? So people would do that.
Hence why we say the story of a lot of apartments coming up.
Because you have to fuel it somehow.
Yes, and
you've got to clean the money somehow.
Yes.
So that happened. And because that happened, the talk then was that the business networks that were supportive of William Samoei suffered in that change of currency. That was the buzz on the ground.
So he's struggling. Let me not use the word struggling.
Yes.
He's affected financially.
Yes.
And they went after his money.
And it's the oldest play from Moi's time. If you have a presidential candidate whose legs you want to cut, you focus on his financiers. Either you seduce them to come to your side, or you make sure doors to them are closed. So they are not accessing their money, which means they cannot finance your opponent. So this obviously happened. But we are dealing with a politician who's been in the game in the ruling party when guys were being squeezed. He was in Kanu. So he must have seen all these things. So you are introducing a play he knows all about. And because we've always said he's a thinker, he must have had in place arrangements, fallback plan to cover himself, which he must have done well, because his campaign was better oiled than Raila's campaign, who had access to state. I'll give you a simple example. So I'm chief agent for my sister in Dagoretti. We go for training at the Trinity Catholic Church, IBC training, how to manage polls, how to safeguard your candidate's poll. All that is done. We then come up with our own list of polling agents. As is per the law, we present them to IBC. So we've got polling agents all over. So I visit a polling center somewhere inside Dagoretti. And this is just amazing. And our polling agent comes to chat us, one of our agents. So I ask him, so, hey, how's it here? How's it going? He said, hey, yeah, UDA is very well organized. So I asked him why. He said, what? There's a pro box that is going from polling center to polling center with pre-packed lunch.
Yeah.
You know? So, and they are not discriminating. They're also taking care of other polling agents. But if you're not one of theirs, ask him, what are you saying? He says, I don't know if it's happening everywhere, but here, what I've experienced in this polling center, they've given us food and their guys food. Because we were going to just check if guys are fine, have they had lunch? Because we didn't have a huge budget, so managing guys, 1,000 bob per agent, you know. So the guy owns up, he says, yeah, thanks for my money, but don't you know me, I've already had lunch.
Mekula.
What do you mean? He says, there's a pro box that came here. They've just given us lunch. So I asked myself, I had friends in the UDA camp, good friends, who are still my friends today, who I knew were in the kitchen. But I knew where they are. I can't start calling, talk to them. They're somewhere counting the voters. It's coming in. One particular friend of mine, who is now in government, who I cannot mention, was actually in the kitchen. They were receiving the votes, coming in, tallying. In fact, he sent me a text when everything was in and he told me, we've taken it. I said, what do you mean? WSR has taken it. And that was a day or two before IBC announced. Told me our tabulations, it's in the bag. This one is in the bag. So I knew, but I didn't want to query him. So I asked another polling agent we had at another polling center. He repeated the same thing. He said, the vehicle has come here, pre-packed. You know, it's just like a paper plate.
Yeah.
I asked him, what? I said, that whoever is a candidate for Dagoretti must have been very organized, whoever it was. So fast forward, now people are at the polling, counting and all. So of course, because I was an agent with somebody, I'm also chatting with that guy. So I get to talk to my friend, who was now in the command center for UDA. So I tell him, so he doesn't say yes or no. He just laughs. He doesn't say anything. So, but you guys say he laughs, he keeps quiet. I asked him, he says, no, watch out, your story. So I realized these guys must have identified the regions that were critical to them, and they made sure we're going to take care of all the polling agents.
But look at the manner in which they do. They're playing a new tactic.
It's a completely new tactic.
And we're coming to the tactics. For me, that's so brilliant because I'm trying to figure out what new tactic must be played in 2027.
Yes.
But what new tactics were played in 2022. But before that, what challenges I need to paint to the viewer.
Yes.
Because guys say here we are supporting this guy.
Yes.
I want to just paint the reality of the challenges he was facing.
Yes.
We've talked about authority being stripped.
Yes.
Now we've talked about finances.
Yes.
Number 3, which is very pivotal to talk about, the communication machine.
Yes.